Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Hi.
Are you are speechless?
I am. I'm gonna have so much fun today. I almost can't contain myself.
And Gal is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Steve is here.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. What a morning. What a day yesterday, boy. And for those
Let's hear about it.
The what?
Let's hear about it.
We have a new Supreme Court judge that
We do.
I mean, I'm not that much into it, but I wanted to see him get confirmed just because he was falsely accused. Because I can just imagine what it is to be facing a committee like this, knowing you're not guilty and they are already assuming you. That I mean, this could be such a bad feeling. I can just imagine. But yeah, it's over. Now we'll see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it tonight on Against the Norm. Wouldn't we?
You can't even imagine.
Okay, so yeah, make sure everybody listen to Nick tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what else is going on? Nothing, huh?
Not really.
No, autumn's here. Lots of leaves are falling.
Already?
Oh, loads of leaves. Yeah, look at the picture. It's just she's just covered in leaves.
Well, Amnon, if you're gonna talk about politics, Kavanaugh is like peanuts. In Israel, the wife of the prime minister is now on trial.
Oh, really?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the trial started today.
You mean Bibi Netanyahu is
No, his wife.
whose trial?
Bibi's wife.
Oh, I thought you said she is in power because he is.
No.
Oh, what?
But she's on trial.
What for? What?
What's the translation?
Say the word in Hebrew. Maybe I'll think.
קבלת דברים במרמה. It's like embezzlement.
Oh, well, look, if you
Yeah.
steal from the people or from
But
yourself, or
half of Israel doesn't believe she stole. She's persecuted, right? It's a witch hunt. It's the same.
it is okay.
It's the same slogan.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying half are saying that. Half are saying trust the police. So it's
Well, that's your first problem.
yeah.
Trust
I
the-
mean,
That's
Well,
very
the-
unusual.
what, Steve?
I say trust the police. That's a very unusual saying.
I mean,
no. I mean in the it's like an investigation that has been going on for years now.
okay, so it's an investigation.
No,
but
now the trial started.
Yeah, but the problem is when people in power are already accusing and talking about the one who's being investigated as though they are already guilty, and that is the problem. You cannot. I mean, here we have you presumed innocent until you're proven guilty. Now,
Assumed innocent, still proven guilty.
when people talk about this, oh, I don't believe him. That's fine. But when people in power that actually can steer politics are talking like that, not giving a chance to the investigation to finish and to see whether he's or the person is guilty or innocent, that's bad.
But the same goes for people in power who claim the police has no basis and start diminishing the police's authority,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
In public.
No,
And
you should not do that
exactly.
either.
And that's what's happening in Israel.
Yeah, you
I
cannot.
mean, that's what's happening here, right? With Trump and the FBI and
Well, I mean, he
with all
had.
that discourse, right?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. I'm
yeah,
not saying he is saying that or somebody specific, but everyone that is talking about it, it's either let them do their work, right, and let them prove whatever they need to prove, or it's a witch hunt.
yeah. But I mean,
That's the
there's a witch hunt. At least when they're talking about it here, they say it's not. I mean, 99% of the FBI are good people that doing great job, but there are some bad apples. And you say, they did this and they did that. Only when you see some proof, even though they were not uh, been proven in court. But that's the way Trump is, and it's refreshing in a way. It could be very bad, but it's very refreshing, and it shows that things are changing. But to take, I mean, like over here when they're talking about abolish ICE. What are you talking about? What are you going to do when all these aliens are going to come across the border from all around? Who are you going to go to? Well, you didn't want to have anybody at the, when you say it's like I always say, here's somebody who doesn't believe in God, who says I'm an atheist, I don't believe. When something bad happens to you, what's the first thing you say? Oh, God help me. I mean, this is just
when you're sliding down the slip and slide and there's crocodiles at the end, you're praying to
yeah,
God.
exactly.
You're waiting for something.
I mean, you can talk and you can say, oh, the police is worthless. Yeah. If somebody is breaking into your house and you don't have a gun, but you have your phone in your hand, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? You're going to call 911. You want the police there. So it's very easy to talk and all that. But when it comes down to it, that's why police and ICE and all these bodies were created to begin with, when things were quiet, people could think straight, and they created these things. Now that tempers are just all over the place, people are saying all I mean, I couldn't stand it yesterday to see people interrupting and yelling in a place like the Senate. I mean, why can't they just say, okay, you know what? No, you can't come in. Sorry, not here. I understand that's part of our democracy and that's part of our process and that's part of this. But it was kind of embarrassing if you're sitting there and you're trying to do your job as a senator and all these people are just yelling all over the place. I mean, if you could. And why aren't they using ATR 2100s? This way, they will not even be able to hear those people. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, let's go back to technology. At 10:30, those of you that were here 2 weeks ago, remember that we were talking about having uh, Marcus Kuchler the CEO of Udoq, and something didn't work out. His internet was down. Well, he's going to join us today at 10:30. So be sure to be here. And for those of you that want to go and look it up and see what we're talking about, it's this unit right here. Let me click here. It's this unit here that is a charger. I mean, it's pretty big, but you see it's got different ports. Those ports, yeah, those ports move. You can arrange them. You can put different ones. You can put all lightning ones. You can buy other ones, and it's very nice. It's very nice. So, Gal already mentioned something, and everybody should be aware of that. But Windows updates. Gal, you want to talk about it?
Oh, just heard about it.
Oh, okay.
Windows update has been
Okay.
So Microsoft received reports that some of the Windows updates have been deleting files, deleting user profiles, I think, and they pulled back the update, and this has been affecting numerous people. So if you do still have an update notification, stop, wait for this to be fixed before they push a new one.
So the article about it, just if people want to know a little bit more about it, it says, amid reports of users facing a number of issues after updating their computers to Windows 10 October 2018 update, Microsoft said yesterday, it was pausing the rollout of the latest version of its Windows 10 desktop operating system. And from ZDNet, it says in a support document updated today, October 6th, the Redmond-based OS maker said it took this decision after users complained that version 1809 had deleted files after the update. We have paused the rollout of the Windows 10 October 2018 update, which is version 1809, for all users as we investigate isolated reports of users missing some files after updating. They said that they employ a gradual rollout scheme, and not all Windows 10 users have received this update. The October 2018 update is no longer available for download. Microsoft urges users who manually downloaded a Windows 10 installation package to wait until new installation media is available. We will provide an update when we resume rolling out the Windows 10 October 2018 update to customers. So if you downloaded it, don't install it, and wait until an updated update is available out there. But yeah, that's some bad news. And again, how many people are testing these before they roll it out?
Well, it's supposed to go to insider preview, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm asking. I'm wondering how many people test it.
Oh, a lot.
Then how come nobody came across it? It's
because
strange.
that's the problem with testing. So when you're testing something during a test phase, you're not actually using the system usually. It's a system that isn't being used heavily. So you're testing that for the basics. You're testing that it installed properly, that the system reboots after that, that it doesn't die, that you can run an application. But these test systems rarely have personal data there, rarely have like important stuff that you go and check. That is why QA inside inside the software developer isn't efficient enough, because it's not looking for every possible outcome of a system. It's just focused on what's changed and basic sanity, it's called.
Yeah, I understand.
But so yeah, so it'll happen.
It just seems like, I mean, everybody who tested it had to install it unless they installed it.
But it doesn't happen to everyone.
Yeah, right. It doesn't. But that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the problem.
It's not on a working system. And inside a preview, they recommend you don't run it on a live system. You just run it as a test bed system. So the average user that is using it every day for their main machine isn't going to come across the problem. They're only going to come across it. If it's a test machine, invariably you probably haven't got several profiles on there, so you don't pick up that kind of error because it's not a main system you use. It's a test bed system.
Huh? It seems like it's happening more and more lately, and not just to Microsoft. Apple had the same problem with their OS 12. So it's I don't know if people are just not as diligent, not as I don't know.
How did Zuckerberg say build fast and
Yeah.
something about fast and breaking, break fast and fix?
Yeah.
That's basically the motto of most software engineers. They want to see if it works or not. They don't care of the consequences. We'll deal with the consequences later.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
try this.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
Now, here's something interesting. I never tried to do it. So until just a few days ago, some Facebook users could not delete their accounts. The option to do so simply didn't work. After VentureBeat reached out to Facebook regarding the issue, an engineer was able to squash the bug. So apparently now if you go to your account and you say, remove account or whatever, it should work. Up till now, it didn't work.
I was about to test that. No, I'm serious. I downloaded everything.
Yeah.
Got a 1.2 gigabyte file. Yeah, I think it was the day before yesterday or something.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm toying with the idea. Delete the Facebook account or not delete the Facebook account. So I haven't clicked the button yet. But now it's good to know that it works.
Yep, they said it works now. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Another interesting story here. Data center equipment run by Amazon Web Services and Apple were subject to surveillance from the Chinese government via a tiny microchip inserted during the equipment manufacturing process. And that's from Bloomberg. Citing 17 people at Apple, Amazon, and U.S. government security officials, among others. The compromised chips in question came from a server company called Supermicro. Supermicro is a pretty big server motherboard company. They assemble machines used in the centers. The scrutiny of these chips, which were used for gathering intellectual property and trade secrets from American companies, have also been the subject of an ongoing top secret U.S. government investigation, which started in 2015. It started in 2015, and they're still out there. The news outlet reported. Amazon, which runs AWS, Apple and Supermicro have disputed summaries of Bloomberg Business Week reporting. And the talk is that they are disputing it because they don't want to get sued. They are disputing it because they want the Chinese to think that no, there is no such thing, so the government can still continue investigating, all kind of things. But I'll be damned if I would put anything sensitive on AWS or any of Apple, whatever they provide, or use Supermicro motherboards. I mean, these are not cheap motherboards, and they said that the chip was inserted in later on in the assembly, and it's a teeny tiny thing. I mean, the pictures that we're showing, it's really one of those little tiny things that you don't even pay attention to. But it gave them back doors. I mean, if there was one machine like this on the network, they had access to the whole network. No word about what you can do if you have one of those machines running in your office as a server or anything like that. But it is that is serious. Serious stuff. What are you reading so close, Gal?
Well, both Amazon and Apple, according to USA Today, are denying that. The question is, where does the report come from? I mean, I understand Bloomberg reported on it, but where does it come from?
It comes from who knows where it comes from. I mean, they probably don't talk about where it's coming from. But apparently,
Washington Post is writing about it. Everybody's writing about it. I'm seeing that. It is.
It says that the Bloomberg is citing 17 people at Apple, Amazon, and U.S. government security officials, among others. So I mean, it's if you have one of those computers, I mean, are you going to take a chance? I wouldn't, not if I had sensitive stuff on it.
Yeah.
So,
well, one thing that I find interesting. So a chip that allows sniffing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll call it sniffing. I don't know exactly what it does.
Well, it's a backdoor.
Well, backdoor is great. I'm not saying it's not, but still, this is installed. Amazon Web Services. I don't know about Apple and how they work, but Amazon Web Services is open to the public to use, right? So you purchase your spot there, right? Everything is compartmentalized within the AWS system.
Mm-hmm.
So I do understand that the backdoor is there, but you need to get to the backdoor first. So it's a crisis. It's now that they know about it. I don't know how long they've known about it, right? Now that it's out in the public, it's definitely something that they need to work to fix and pay whatever cost it's going to cost them, because keeping it there is more of a problem. But so allegedly the Chinese government or of some faction there has access to a back door, but they need to pass other security measures in order to get there.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm only saying this is bad, but there's no need for hysteria. It can be fixed. It can be worked around. It can be, it's not, the systems we work with, they have tons of flaws. Some are documented, some are not. This is always the case. And this is always the case that's going to be in engineering.
Sure.
We cannot shy away from that fact. Once we understand that, that's when we need to start using technology, not assuming technology is perfect, right?
Right.
And so when reading these, when informing the public about this stuff, it's very important to show how effective these breaches are for the attacker. Once the attacker has access to that backdoor, they can probably roam freely within the system, but they're not undetectable, and they need to pass security measures to get in. It's like we have a key to the safe inside the bank,
Mm-hmm.
but now we need to enter the bank first,
Right.
right? And that's not that easy. So it's not like an ace card that opens all doors. No, it's not like, hey, I just type a bunch of key strings and I'm in the Pentagon or
Right.
in Amazon's safest, supposedly safest spot. So that's I think that's an important distinction to make here. That's all I'm saying. It's bad. It needs to be fixed. If fixing it means replacing all the motherboards, all these computers, even if we're talking about thousands, yeah, that needs to be done, right? But it's definitely not. It's not a fire sale. It's not everything is burning down.
I'm not saying that it is, but I'm saying if I had anything there sensitive, I would right away, I don't know, encrypt it, or I mean, I
Definitely.
would probably move it somewhere else
Probably.
for now until things quiet down.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's better safe than sorry.
We know that Apple and Amazon are using these Supermicro motherboards. We don't know about is Rackspace using them? We don't know, right?
We don't. No, absolutely,
right?
We don't.
The whoever leaked the information or provided the information, they wanted to create a scare around Apple and Microsoft. Sorry, Apple and Amazon. Hey, maybe Microsoft leaked it out. I don't know. Maybe Google, right? It's you don't know.
Yeah.
This means it affects everyone. Will someone know if they? I don't know if I have a chip on my Dell here, if that chip is in there or not. It is manufactured in China, right? So, I mean, how do I know? So that's the keeping safe doesn't mean even if there's some it's not a ticking bomb. Let's put it this way.
It could be. It's not, but it could be.
Exactly, it could be. If somebody knows how to utilize it, it definitely could be. But
yeah,
never assume everything is safe. That's all. I think that's the most important thing to take out of the article.
Absolutely. Here's something right up your alley. Where was it? Oh shoot! I just had it here and.
But while you're looking.
Oh, here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Says a new study from network equipment company Sandvine finds that BitTorrent usage and piracy is increasing after years of decline. The reason appears to be due to an increase in exclusivity deals that force subscribers to hunt and pick among a myriad of streaming services to actually find the content they're looking for. It's like so we cut the cord and now we're getting Sling, and we get this service, and that service doesn't have this, so we need that service. And before you know it, you're having 6 services that cost you $20 a month in order to get 6 programs.
Right.
And you say, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
And
it goes back to what I was saying. Follow the pirates, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the pirates were downloading all the content, and then came around services like Netflix, right? They were groundbreaking. They were earth-shattering, because suddenly you could, for $10 a month, you could actually get something really, really close to what you did when you torrented a movie or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was easier to use than torrenting, and it was safer because you were not exposed by any law.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody followed suit and created services like Netflix. And now, right, everyone wants a piece of the pie. And Netflix themselves, they're increasing the price every once in a while, right? And so the pirates are saying, look, we're controlled again. Those who pirate content, they said, hey, so we're controlled again, right? We have no choice again. And now they say enough, right? HBO wants to close up their stuff. Netflix wants to close out the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hulu is closing up their stuff. If you won't let me, the consumer, choose the content in a reasonable price, right, I won't participate in your game. That's what the pirates are saying. And that's exactly what's happening. I'm not surprised.
Well, the problem is the expense, isn't it? You've got exclusivity on Netflix and on Amazon Prime, and you can't afford to pay for every service. So you weigh up the pros and cons and think, well, I get this and this from Netflix, I get this and this from Hulu.
Exactly.
I get that as well, but I can't, so I'm going to pirate it.
Right. And it's not like you can pay I don't know, another $2 to $5 to just get an additional stream of content, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
You're starting to double everything. So Disney is a fantastic example. Disney, after they bought Star Wars and they own Avengers, Marvel, they're combined with the Marvel universe. I think last year they notified that they're opening their own streaming channels, and they're pulling out all of the content from Netflix because they used to use Netflix to distribute that. So people who have Netflix that can watch today, they can watch Star Wars and they can watch Avengers and they can watch all of that, right? And I don't remember the date, so a year or two, right? That content is no longer going to be available to them. If they want, they'll need to pay for the Disney Channel, and that'll cost exactly as much as Netflix costs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that won't work. I mean, it'll work in the short term. Those companies will probably make a huge buck by just pulling in new streaming users from side to side. But eventually, there will be no way for a person who isn't gonna expense, I don't know, $200 a month, right, to get all the content, and probably $200 isn't enough either. No. So yeah,
you basically went from a situation where you were paying a fortune for cable, and you thought, no, that's it, I'm going to cut the cord and pick and choose. And now they're taking away your choices, so that you've got to go for more subscriptions, and you're ending up paying more than you did for cable.
Exactly. Now, the interesting thing that I find about the conversation about this is that when it comes to the way business is talking about piracy, right, is they're looking at the pirates, right, as coming from a bad position, the wrong position. They're thieves.
Yeah,
they're
wrong.
Right.
That's right.
Right. It's completely wrong.
Yeah.
What isn't going into the conversation, at least not the official conversation, right? I mean, we are having a conversation here. So what isn't going into the conversation is, with some of the claims that at the beginning of 2000 were around 80 to 90% piracy, right? At certain regions. If you're facing such a huge percentage of piracy in such a region, right? Then maybe it's not the pirates who are wrong, and your competition isn't by squashing them, but it's by mimicking their actions. And by mimicking their actions, you can gain that market share, right? In a reasonable way. It means, and probably rightly so, it means you are going to make less in the big scheme, right? You're going to make less per customer, but you are going to gain a larger share of the marketplace. If one thing the people do want, they do want the content to be produced, right? They want to see, they want to watch, and they want to enjoy good fiction and good reality shows. Never mind that they're not reality. Good. They want good content, right? And that costs money. Nobody says it's not, and a lot of people are willing to pay, but we need to make sure that the payment makes sense to those people. And we're probably not going to get there while everyone in the industry is too greedy. And that goes to the consumer as well.
It's all about the consumer.
No, I mean, the consumer is greedy as well. They want it all for free. So,
of course.
See, I don't necessarily know that that's true.
Why? What do you mean?
I don't know that necessarily the consumer wants it free. Would you like it for free? Yeah, of course. I mean, if you could get everything for free, that's, human nature. You'd want to.
I think the word.
Yeah, but you want more. You want more, right?
Yeah, we want more.
Want more.
I mean, this is my thought on it, and I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just speaking for myself. I will pay for something if it's reasonably priced. The reason, there's a couple things that really piss me off, specifically ebooks. Those damn things are some of those things are more expensive than the freaking hardcover book to be sent from Amazon. It's this unreasonable price that a lot of this online or digital media comes with. Be an audiobook, which are out. Some audiobooks can be almost $40 to get the audiobook. And I get it. An author has to read it, but my God, I mean, $40 for a 12-hour audiobook. That or exclusivity on shows. I think Netflix is doing the most with exclusivity. Their production, their in-house studio is banging out new shows like every week. So they're doing a lot, and their service is what, $10 a month the minimum. Hulu buys licensing. Amazon does a couple exclusives, but they're doing mostly licensed deals as well. So I don't think people are unwilling to pay. I just don't. People just aren't gonna, as Steve said, be signed up for services that cost you $1 billion a month. And there's 4 main services, right? Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, and HBO Go are, I think, probably the four big boys that most people, if you're paying for services, you're probably paying for some of those 4.
So yeah, there's more. There's Stars. There's a few others, right? And the pie will go on, and there'll be more sections in it and more section in it. Yeah,
Disney's making their own.
Yeah,
YouTube's just about to start, isn't it? With their Orion, their exclusive show that they've got that's coming up in November.
Yep.
So that's another one you've got to subscribe to, is it?
Yeah, they've got a YouTube Red.
They already have that. Yeah.
There needs to be some service somewhere where you can selectively go and say, right, I can get all of it in one, and I pay one fee. Not all this chopping and changing, jumping from here to there to the other, and having to pay 5 different people. It's insane.
See, here's the thing, though. That one fee is going to end up being as much as a cable bill, which is going to be $80 or $90 a month.
Or more. Or more.
Yeah, or more. I mean, and I know your wife watches a lot of, I don't know what you call it, a lot of that streaming content. I mean, every time I'm over, her and I end up watching some show on Amazon or Netflix. But I mean, Christ, if she was subscribed to 6 or 7 services, you'd be spending $80, $90 on services, and,
Yep.
and as well as your cable bill, because those shows aren't available on cable. That's the thing here. This is why Amazon's so smart, or Netflix is so smart. Is they have shifted. They obviously still license a lot of shows like The Office and whatnot, but they're moving a lot. It appears to me that they're moving a lot of their content towards exclusive shows. Meaning you can't just cancel your Netflix subscription and go say, you know what, Spectrum, I hate you, but I'm going to buy your service. That's not even an option. You want to watch Man in the High Castle? You're buying Amazon Prime. You want to watch House of Cards or Orange is the New Black or whatever it may be? You have to have Netflix. It's not available on TNT or any other cable channel. And
Right,
Amazon's
it's
spent
their
a
own.
fortune on this new. They've got this new Tom Clancy show. I don't know if you've ordered anything from Amazon recently. Your Amazon box has probably got the guy from The Office on it, Jim Hoffer, whatever his name is. They've put a fortune into this new Tom Clancy. I think it's a movie, or maybe it's a show. I don't know. But again, not available anywhere else.
They're not doing good in marketing if you don't know.
No, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's a movie. It's a Tom Clancy movie, I think. But it's an Amazon exclusive movie. What are you gonna do? You've got no choice.
Don't watch it. It's not the end of the world.
TV series.
Is it a TV series?
Yeah.
Okay.
8.3 in IMDb and 97% in Google.
It looks pretty good. I'm gonna watch it. I'm a big fan of Tom Clancy's stuff.
There you go, Nick.
What's up?
Another
They got you.
$25.
No, but this is a good thing with Amazon, and this is I'm not I mean, I'll give Amazon credit where credit is due. They bundle everything. They bundle so much of their crap together that what is Prime, $12 a month now? It's $120. No, it's more. Is it 120 or
it's 120? Yeah.
140? Okay, so $120 a year. I mean, they've got that broken down less than $10 a month, and you get all the other benefits. They've got that going for them. I would say most people that have Amazon Prime did not subscribe to it to get access to Amazon Instant Video.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And one of the things they're doing right is they do have the add-on services like HBO.
Yep.
Which I believe costs less than going and just taking HBO on their own. So
you're saying Amazon does?
Yeah, Amazon has that trick. So you're still using Amazon Prime. You're using everything from within the Fire TVs and all their stuff.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you can do that with Hulu too.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to Hulu through it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they're the only ones who are trying to aggregate, but it still costs. It's still quite a fee, right?
Yeah.
So,
and again, I don't think people are unwilling to pay, but people are not willing to, shell out $70 a month to watch. And the thing is, you only, if you're like me and you're not watching it constantly, you're only watching a show or two. I mean, the last thing I watched on Netflix, well, prior to yesterday, the last thing I'd watched on Netflix was probably the actually watched was probably the last season of House of Cards, which came out over a year ago. So how do you deal with that?
I tell you what, I see a lot of people that are cutting the cord also and not paying attention to this. This is the old, it nickel and dimes you to death. So you were paying $100 for cable, for TV. Oh, Sling is only $20. That's all right. You pay that on the 7th. And then you go for another Stars, whatever. Oh, that's $10 a month. Yeah, that's okay. And that comes out on the 17th out of your credit card. And another service, And when you do, unless you are a responsible person, you sit at the end of the month and said, okay, how much am I paying now? Oh, you're paying $147 for all your cable TV. No, but it was only $20 here and 15 there and 10 there. And it's easy to fall into this trap. and a lot of people, a lot of I think a lot of youngsters, and it's all relative here, uh, will fall into this. You want to
Yep.
watch it, and you don't think about it if it's not a big chunk coming as, oh well, it's spread over the month.
I think everybody's like that. I mean, you'll buy what is it? You'll buy something on eBay for $15
Yep.
with free shipping, but you
Mhm.
won't buy something that's $11.99 that charges you $3 for shipping.
Yeah.
Same thing. But you won't. It's just a weird human psyche, weird human nature stuff, and that's what it is. You won't give Spectrum $90 a month, but you'll spend $200 on streaming services. I bet you won't bitch about that being too high. You'll complain Spectrum for their bill being $90 a
and
month.
and remember, if Spectrum goes down, you don't have any of those streaming.
I don't want to talk about that.
That's really one I really don't understand them. I said it many times before. When the power goes out in the neighborhood, Spectrum goes down, and Time Warner before them, and it just bam gone. AT&T Uverse stays. It's when we had I think it was the snowstorm? I can't remember. There was one time when we had like about 4 days no power a couple of years ago. 2 days after the power went out, the AT&T finally also disappeared. And I called in, and they actually sent somebody out with a small generator, a 48-volt generator. He opened the box. I mean, I went over there to see. He opened the box, hooked it to the batteries, started. Uverse came right back, and they left the generator running there for another 2 days. So everybody would have the service until the power came back on. I mean, this is service.
But see, you're in the minority there.
What do you mean?
Most people don't have backup power. Most people don't have whole house power.
Yeah, I
so
understand.
They don't even notice. I mean,
I understand. But my point here is Spectrum and here's AT&T. If I could only take one and it serves my purpose, I would go with AT&T because I know that it stays up. And yes, you're right. I have a generator or two, and it runs everything, and I stay up.
yeah.
But if I depended on Spectrum, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
If it's
and I bet you
down,
that's
it's
part of their
down.
calculation.
So yeah, you need to think about that too when you choose your service.
My boss just bought a DirecTV Now. He seems to be
Yeah.
pretty happy with that.
I heard that's yeah, DirecTV.
That's their
Oh no,
streaming service.
right. There's also Uverse now, or Uverse TV, something
okay.
like that. That's coming, and people were saying, "Nah, that's not so great." I can't remember what.
Yeah.
If anybody has any information about this, so he's happy with the DirecTV Now.
Correct. He's using DirecTV Now on a Roku, where he's living down here, and yeah,
Does
he's
that
pretty happy with it.
does that have anything to do with the dish?
No, it's fully over the internet.
It's fully over. Yeah.
Just
Nice.
hook up, buy a Roku for $40 or however much those things cost, and
Yeah.
to go.
And we were talking about Netflix. This is some interesting statistics here. Netflix remains the 800-pound gorilla in the streaming world. Video from the service consumes a significant 15% of all internet bandwidth globally.
Who is this?
Netflix. The most of any single application. That's according to the latest Global Internet Phenomena report from Sandvine, again, a vendor of bandwidth management systems. Netflix was followed by HTTP media streams, HLS, representing a 13.1% of all downstream traffic. That's like Roku falls into that. But that's because it's such high resolution. YouTube is 11.4%. Web browsing, 7.8%. And MPEG transport streams, 4.4%. I guess that means MP4s. In the Americas, Netflix grabs an even bigger slice of the bandwidth pie, accounting for 19.1% total downstream traffic. That's a fifth of the internet bandwidth in the States, in the Americas. I guess talking about North and South. Amazon Prime Video consumes more data, 7.7% of downstream traffic than YouTube, 7.5%. That's again in the Americas. And that's during peak. And during peak evening hours, Netflix usage can spike as high as 40% of all downstream traffic on some wireline operator networks in the Americas. So it's unbelievable the amount. I mean, you're sitting here and you think everybody's browsing and no, most of the bandwidth is being used by people streaming on the different services. And Netflix is up there.
Surprised YouTube's not higher.
I know.
Well, I think the difference might be the bandwidth. I think Netflix's content's probably a little more high bandwidth than YouTube's.
Who
YouTube
did it?
the hell out of their stuff.
I remember there was some service that said that they are re-encoding everything to save.
I mean, they all do that, but I would assume YouTube is doing more compression. It's not quite as necessary on.
I mean, it's about the same. It's 7.7 to 7.5. So
you said Netflix during the. You said
no. That I'm talking about YouTube versus Amazon.
Oh, I'm talking YouTube versus Netflix. I'm surprised that number's not higher.
Well, I mean, what you mean more than 15% on the average?
No, I'm surprised YouTube isn't closer to Netflix.
Oh, it's closer.
I mean, the amount of people that stream content on YouTube. That's why I said it's probably the compression that YouTube is doing.
Yeah. I mean, did you ever watch Netflix on your phone?
No, never.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
You have?
Yeah.
What happens? Do they transcode for
It's 480p?
So unless you configure it manually, it's 480p. And the reason you want it 480p is because the cell provider will give you the 480p for free.
Oh,
depending on your provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the DPI on a phone screen is not
No, it's actually higher than
higher than a monitor, but the resolution.
If you
trust me, when you watch something in high resolution on the screen, it's sometimes better than viewing it on a 4K TV further away. The reason is the screen is really up to your face. So if you'll take the screen of a phone, right, and with the way you hold it, and you put it in front of the large screen TV where you sit down in your living room, you'll see that it covers a lot more area than that you're viewing than what you would view sitting in the living room. So it does count. The fact that it's small doesn't make it less important. The resolution is actually more noticeable. So yeah.
But YouTube when you watch on the phone brings it down to 144 or
No,
I, it's
depends on the phone maybe, but so YouTube tries to give you the maximum possible with your bandwidth and your device.
I mean
So
when I'm sitting here now watching the show on the laptop.
well, that's live.
Yeah.
That's live streaming. That
Oh,
might be.
oh,
That
that's
might be for
different.
live streaming. Yeah,
Okay.
because live streaming is a lot more. First of all, it's CPU intensive, right? So
Yeah,
they'll try
it's at
to.
360.
Yeah.
Now if I blow it up to full screen, it goes up to 720.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're
So
smart about it, right?
yeah, so
And a lot of
maybe
people, for some reason, I have no idea why, but a lot of people when they view some YouTube, they view it like this, with the top side, right, and not expanding it, doing a simple operation and going to full screen. So that's probably why YouTube will be still less.
yeah.
I see my kid. He watches a lot of YouTube, right? The teenagers. YouTube is probably their first content stream, unlike us. He says, Dad, I find it time wasting to watch and see a TV series, right? But he watches YouTube a lot. So, and most of the time they're not in full screen. They move to full screen only if they're going into something longer, like more than 2 to 3 minutes. But most of the time they're just flicking around the streams and they're small.
Yeah,
So that
so
might explain the
yeah.
bandwidth.
Yeah, Nick, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Your generation watching everything, most everything on the phone.
Well, that or as Gal said, they're little short little 2 or 3 minute videos, so
Yeah.
hell's the difference.
Well, 50,000 2 or 3 minute videos is the same as like right 10,000 high definition movies, but it's just the way they are consumed that's the difference. If you're using something that covers only a third of your screen and the content provider is sending you the appropriate DPI because they want to conserve on their side, then it'll be less. Bandwidth isn't the only factor, right?
Well,
I wonder if the
that's
number of streams, for example, if there was a way of counting it, right, who will be higher?
Well,
That'll
there's
be
definitely more people watching YouTube than Netflix.
yeah,
There's
there's
exactly.
gotta be.
That's what I'm.
Let's go back here to iPhones, and it's some more kind of bad news. Poor cellular reception doesn't appear to be the only issue affecting some new iPhone XS and XS Max owners. Dozens of users have reported charging issues with their iPhone XS and XS Max devices and shared their experience on the Mac Rumor forums and Apple support forums. This is from The Verge. Specifically, users are experiencing issues where phones will not charge if the lightning cable is plugged in while the device is asleep. The problem appears to be a software bug, perhaps related to the phone's USB accessory settings, and requires iPhone to be unlocked or at least have the screen lit up in order to begin charging. Tech vlogger Lewis demonstrated the issue on 9 different iPhone X and XS and XS Max on his YouTube channel, Unbox Therapy. Some
Yep.
iPhones, do what?
I said, yeah, I watched the video. Pretty interesting.
There's some iPhones respond immediately to being plugged into a charger, while others have to be tapped to awaken, and others freeze up. That is a problem. I mean, I guess you can make your phone not go to sleep, but then you're going to lose the battery when you're out. I mean, it's hopefully they'll fix. I mean, it sounds like it's an easy fix for them, but that's a problem. You leave it on the charger all night, and you get up in the morning and it's not charged. And it's not that the battery's bad, and it's not that the charger is bad. It just, you didn't tell me you want to charge me. You should have waken me up. So, Apple. Apple.
Well, this sounds. I mean, do you remember? I think it was the 4th or maybe 4S, where they ended up sending out bumpers
Yep.
to their customers because of reception. It just sounds like this is all over again.
Huh?
Well, Microsoft does the same thing with the Surface. You would imagine with mine, it's plugged in all the time. And I want it to charge, obviously, because it's plugged in. The other day, I had some people coming to do some work on the electric. So I thought, right, it's plugged in. It's going to be near 100%.
Mhm.
No, because it's 16. Why aren't it said plugged in, not charging? Why aren't you charging? You've been plugged in for the last 2 weeks. Why aren't you at nearly 100%?
Mhm.
I had to unplug the charger, plug it back in, and then it said plugged in charging. I thought, well, that's what you should be doing all the time anyway, because you're always plugged in. But no, apparently not. It can drop down to, like battery warning message, and then it'll go, oh, I suppose I better charge then. Should that not be standard?
Good question.
I mean, I thought, well, they're going to be turning the electric off. If it's down to 16%, I'm going to get, I don't know, 10 minutes if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I want to potentially get half an hour. The electric could be off for half an hour. At least charge up to 80% and give me a good chance. Imagine if I was going to take it and go out. I'd start using the thing and the thing would come up low battery. What? You've been on charge for a week? Insane.
Well, that's why
Is,
you need to
is
have.
that controlled by a setting?
No, it's not. I checked all the battery settings and you can set it for best battery uses or best performance. Well, I've got it set in the middle, so it's sort of
Yeah, that's
best.
power consumption. Yeah.
But it's also the way it charges, apparently, depending on how you set it.
So
It
the
relates
reason
to.
I'm asking is we have a Lenovo that we bought a while ago, and it comes with something called Power Manager,
Yep.
and they have a setting there. This is their own Power Manager, not the one that's built into the OS. And they have a setting there that says keep the charge at 60%. Now you said 16, so it's different. It's obviously a different thing, but their explanation is not overcharging the battery because so that it'll last longer.
Yeah.
But it's in your face. It's something that you see. The application, by the way, is terrible because it has a memory leak. So if you don't shut it down, it'll eat all your memory. But they have this like the only reason I know about it is because it's the first thing that loads with the machine. And I've taken it out of the loop a few times, but it's like it's just a concept. I wonder if Surface has something similar to that.
No, it's got. I've had a look for power management and things like that to see if there's something there to say, keep it topped up charged, or let it run down. Because I know in the old days of NiCads, you had to run the battery right down to flat to charge it again. Otherwise, you get memory effect.
Right,
But
that's not the case now. Yeah.
no, not anymore. You don't get that. But lithium-ion batteries now, you would imagine that it would charge up to at least 80% and go, well, there's 80% now. That's good enough. But it's a portable device. You're supposed to be taking it out and about. So why it would let it drop to 16, I just could not understand that at all.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's weird. I agree.
I'm glad it's just not me then. I thought perhaps it was me.
No, definitely doesn't sound legit. And
Sounds like a bug.
yeah, the internet. Like when you're searching about this, did you find anything?
No, other people were saying the same thing, that why doesn't it charge when it's plugged in? And that's the automatic thing. You plug it in. Oh, good, it's going to be charging. No, it's not. No. You've got to unplug it and plug it back in 2 or 3 times, and it goes, oh, perhaps he wants me to charge. It's intelligent. It's a computer. It should know.
I leave my phone plugged into the charger whenever I'm here, which is 99% of the time. It's plugged into the charger. Uh, a battery for it. I mean, some people say that the batteries will go bad. It's about $10, and maybe every 2 years I change the battery. But every time I go out, I mean, it's full. So it does work.
That's the other thing that annoys me. It's a Surface Pro, so you can't take it anywhere and say, "Can you fit me a new battery, please?" Because
Yeah,
it's a sealed unit.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I asked around. Nobody here in England will fix it. It had to go to Germany when I did a service exchange. So, if it was a replaceable battery, I'd think, yeah, fair enough, okay. Just keep charging up and charging up. When the battery dies, I'll just slot in a new one. But
Mhm.
we're not at that situation anymore. We can't slot in new ones ourselves, and there's no service center to take it to. So what are you supposed to do? Throw it away and buy a new one?
Good. That's a good point. If I couldn't replace the battery, I don't know that I would leave it on
No.
all the time. You're right.
Mm.
You're absolutely right.
Coming back the old days where you had a little compartment, you take the back off, and look, it's a replaceable pack. You take it out and you can put another one in. Oh, isn't that good? No, gone are those days now.
Yep.
No, the consumer can create so much damage. No,
Wi-Fi. Which Wi-Fi is the latest?
AC is the current
Nice.
standard that everybody's
802.11
AC.
AC.
Huh.
Well, the next one is not going to be like that.
Okay.
7, isn't it?
They're changing the whole thing. Next one is going to be Wi-Fi 6, version 6. That's it.
Wow. There you go.
They're going away from
Like-
that 802.11, this and that and the other.
About time.
So if you see Wi-Fi version 6, that's the latest one. I mean, it's going to be the next one. It's not. I don't think it's out yet.
it's
But
probably
it's-
still gonna be some
Something after that, yeah.
602.11 in the background, right?
Yeah,
So
6AC,
in the internal
6P.
documentation. Yeah.
Yeah, but they should have. I mean, at least it would be nice if they did A, B, C, D. So what's with the different letters. It's unless you're a techie, you don't know the difference between them.
Nope.
So it's interesting. And another piece of statistics that's kind of interesting. For years, the number of Americans who have reported using the internet, social media, and smartphones has been on a meteoric rise. But that rate has slowed to a near stall. It says new data published this week by Pew Research Center shows that since 2016, that number has plateaued, indicating those technologies have reached a saturation point among many groups of people. The percentage of Americans using smartphones, 77%, the internet, 88% to 89%, social media, 69%, has remained virtually unchanged during the last 2 years. Put simply, in some instances, there just aren't many non-users left. Kind of interesting. 69% only using social media. Where's the other 40%? Are these like
They're living.
Yeah, right. Going out of
No
the
polls.
house
No polls.
from their phone.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. That was the only thing that I was thinking here, that the people are just not making a big deal out of it. It's just like, how many people are buying hammers these days? How many people are using hammers? Who knows? It's when you need it, you use it. And oh, hammer? What's the big deal about a hammer? It became a tool, and that's it. But I don't think that's the reason. I think
Yeah.
that's it. It's saturated, and
Alan says 40% are avoiding it. So
yeah. Now, yeah, listen to this. A wave of reports about hijacked WhatsApp accounts in Israel has forced the government cybersecurity agency to send out a nationwide security alert on Tuesday. Has nothing to do with the presidential alert that was sent in this country, guys. It says that the alert, authored by the Israel National Cybersecurity Authority, warns about a relatively new method of hijacking. I think this will apply to anybody, not just in Israel, I guess, but in Israel they did it. This new hijacking method was first documented last year by Ron Barzik, an Israeli web developer at Oath. The general idea is that users who have voicemail accounts for their phone, for the phone numbers, are at risk if they don't change that account's default password, which in most cases tend to be either 0000 or 1234.
yeah, I got that. That's a nice hack.
It's nobody thinks about it. I mean, I don't
It's so
have
simple.
voicemail on my phone, but I went ahead and set up, changed it, and did away with it. The possibility of an account takeover happens when an attacker tries to add a legitimate user's phone number to a new WhatsApp app installation on his own phone. Following normal security procedures, the WhatsApp service would then send a one-time code via SMS to that phone number. This was typically alert a user to an ongoing attack. But Barzik argues that the hacker could easily avoid this by carrying out the attack during nighttime or when he is sure the user is away from his phone.
Right. All they need is 5 minutes.
Unbelievable. I wonder how many other apps are.
Why does everybody use WhatsApp? I don't
I have
understand.
no idea.
And it
Oh,
seems like it's very popular outside the US. I don't understand why.
Yeah. I'll explain. The US people, first of all, you use iMessage, right?
Yes.
Right. Why do you use iMessage and not text?
I know, because it uses Wi-Fi. I mean, I got why it's so popular.
Right. So WhatsApp was there before iMessage.
Yep.
And they just, and one of the things, if you'll remember using text and MMS, right, is when you're sending content, like media content, a picture or anything, across networks, it usually won't work properly, right? If a Verizon person sends a T-Mobile person a text with an image, some of the time it will work, some of the time it won't. That's just quirkiness of MMS and how it all worked and all that. WhatsApp solved that. WhatsApp wasn't the first, but they were the first to be popular. That's all. And that was one part. And the second part was international conversation. And now an international conversation you're not bound to any text rates, whether local or international. And so that took over. That took over all over the world. Now on iPhone, you had to pay $1. I don't know if that's still the case on iPhone, by the way. And on Android, you would have got it for free for the first year or 2 years, and then you needed to pay $1 a year or $5 for life or something like that. So
Hmm.
that was how it started. I don't know where it is today. So yeah, that's the reason. It was better than text. It was there. Everybody is there. So that's why I use WhatsApp. So if you're about to ditch iPhone and leave iMessage, you'll probably go to WhatsApp.
But it seems like its popularity is more centered outside of the U.S. than inside the U.S.
Well, inside the US, it's mainly because of iMessages. First of all, in the US, text usually works properly.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying internationally, text is a pain in the ass. Okay.
Internationally, yeah. When you go in Israel, if there's Orange, which is one network. There's Cellcom, which is another one. If you want to send an MMS message between them, it usually doesn't work. Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So and nobody's trying to fix it, and the care about the customer doesn't exist here, about the customer needs. So comes WhatsApp, and they provide that for absolutely almost free, right? Compared, you're already paying for something, so paying another buck if that's the need is not a big deal. And yeah, it works.
Yeah.
No?
So that's why.
I personally never used it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know of anybody. I've never even had anybody ask me to use it.
Yeah, well, travel outside of the US and
Yeah.
suddenly you start using WhatsApp.
Very weird.
Yeah, what country was it that actually blocked WhatsApp?
Probably China or some BS like that.
I don't know. Well, some country actually blocked it. Nope, no use here.
See, the other what now? So I do use and I used it during a hurricane because the cell service wasn't great. Facebook Messenger seems to be quite popular, and I would assume that's quite similar to similar concept to WhatsApp. I mean, it's just IMing. I mean, it's like Skype or anything else.
Yeah, Messenger is high as well.
Yeah, so I guess I do use that.
And it worked.
Yeah, we're fine. Because I couldn't iMessage Amnon because he doesn't have a
Right.
he doesn't have an iPhone.
You can talk
You
a
always
different
have-
language, but suddenly you can speak another language suddenly, Nick, but not everybody's going to understand you. Right?
Okay, I guess so. I'm not
No?
really following.
No. Oh, I mean, yeah, you can use a message service, but I will not be able to. You will not be able to talk to me because I don't
Oh, then I
understand
should
it.
start using that other service.
Yeah. You were going to say, Gal?
Don't remember.
Oh. hey, unplug your phone.
No phone.
Oh, okay.
Phone
I
is
thought
here.
you were
I'm-
talking about memory leak. So I'm
Oh no, that was another reason.
listen to this here now. Microsoft unveiled a bunch of new hardware during a press event last night. That was last week. But one of the most interesting announcements the company made was their new Your Phone app for Windows 10. Basically, the feature will let Android users mirror any app on their device to a Windows 10 desktop. And The Verge write about it, how Microsoft is embracing Android as the mobile version of Windows.
But
I
for
mean,
that,
that's-
you need to upgrade Windows, which will delete your files.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that's an interesting situation. They failed with Windows Phone and this phone and this. And so I said, hey, here's the good, solid platform. Let's start using it for. I wonder. They should do the same thing with Apple.
I'm gonna try it. Let's see.
Uh oh.
We're gonna do a live review. By the way, is our guest coming in?
Our guest is not here yet. I don't think so. Nick will let me know.
I will. I've got something I'd like to
Yeah,
talk about.
go ahead.
So this is really scary.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously, this is some serious stuff right here. So Microsoft and their cyber team, or whatever the hell they call it, has seized 6 phishing domains that they say belong to Russian government hackers. Apparently, the domains mimicked Senate staff and some think tank groups, and they were phishing sites. I mean,
Yeah.
they mimic the website. They ask you to put in your email, whatever. They steal your information. The couple of them, they list a couple of the domains here, and I thought that was thought that was interesting. But I believe our guest is here, Amnon. So we'll get back to that.
All right.
Hello, Ammon. It's Marco speaking.
Hello. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
All right. So let's go with that. Everybody, meet Marcus. And I was trying to practice Kuchler.
Yes, Kuchler.
Yeah.
It's difficult to pronounce, but it's correct this way.
Marcus is the CEO and founder of Udoq, developer of the first worldwide patented universal docking station for all mobile devices of every brand and generation.
Exactly.
He founded in 2015 with offices in the US, Germany, and Taiwan. And Udoq was designed and developed by Marcus and his 10-member team of engineers and designers in Munich. Very nice. And I was showing the unit to the users, to the audience earlier. It is very nice. It's massive. It's solid. It has all these different ports that you can plug different devices to, and you can change. So if you don't have a device that fits one of those things, but you have 2 devices that are, let's say, on USB-C, you can buy a USB-C and replace one of them with a USB-C, and now you can do both of them at the same time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The basic idea is that we have an aluminum rail, as you showed it here, and this rail can take any of these adapters. This is just a short piece, so you understand that this is simple and solid aluminum, and then we shift in from the side. We shift several plugs. Any you can imagine right now. Of course, Apple Lightning. We have the old Apple 30 pin. We have micro USB and USB-C, and we have a wireless plate, which you see here in the back. This one here, a large one, and we have an adapter for the Apple Watch magnetic cable. So with this plugs and different rail length, you create the dock you need. And whenever a new cable comes out or a new technology is up, or one of the big players changes its connector, you just adapt this connector and you're ready to go. So it's a sustainable and a very smart docking station.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's no rocket science to the thing. If you look in the back, guys, there's a power supply right there, a charger, and there are 4 wires coming out of it that go into the ports. The only question I have about this, and we'll go to the other questions, why are the wires so long? Is there a reason for these wires for being so long?
Yes, there's a very good reason, because I have this here, for example, next to my computer, next to an iMac. I have one Udoq, and I hook the devices to my iMac. And therefore, I don't need a charger, and I plug them directly to my computer. So in this case, you're also compatible to computers, to laptops, of course.
Okay.
And you can use the long cables for that connection directly, or if you have it as a dock in your living room where you have no computer, of course, then you use your charger.
Okay. So, Marcus, what was your coolest device that you developed?
I mean, in the history of the last 25 years, we developed a lot of construction machines. We developed suitcases. We developed computer peripherals. But maybe one exciting one was a compaction machine that got wheels now, and it's a ground compaction device, one of these hammers to flatten the ground, to compact the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And I invented some wheels for this machine, and today it's the only machine that has built-in wheels, so you can just move it and carry it around. So it's a very technical design, or a technical approach to product design. And that's also what happened to this product here. My two sons were always taking my cables. They have an iPhone, an iPad, and they need to charge, as well as my wife and me. And I find my phone next morning without a cable, and it's not charged. And so I got a little bit mad about this situation. It's already some years ago, and I decided to change this and invent something where the cables can move, but you can't take them out. And this is maybe the most important part of the Udoq, because no other docking station allows this function, that you can really move and shift these cables to the position where you want to have it. Any of them are movable. And this is the patent that I have, that I got issued in the US, in Japan, in China, and in Europe. And this allows you to put your devices next to each other, to view them, to operate them, and to always fit them to a smaller or wider device.
There was one thing that, I'm not an Apple user. My wife has an iPad 4, and it's in a leather case. I couldn't put it on. It will not sit in here and meet the connection unless I took it out of the case. Is there a trick to it, or is that just...
We have here this adapter, and which slides into the rail.
Right.
And you can open this simply by pushing these two small plugs or hooks here in the back. So it opens up, and now you can
raise it up.
Raise this cable. Also, I raise it up a little bit. Sorry.
Oh.
So you have some hooks here, and you can raise the connector to the height you want to have it. So this is far up, and this would be a little bit lower. And after you choose in this case, if you have your wife's iPhone or iPad, you just close it in this. Sorry.
I see.
You close it in the raised position, and or in a lower position, and then you have your setting done.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there was a trick to it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Nick, you're keeping tabs, right?
Absolutely.
I try to think about everything.
Yeah, well, very good. And what other? Right now there are 4 of them. Are there any others that can go in here, or you just double on the others?
We have actually the 4 plugs, as I mentioned before: Lightning, 30-pin, micro USB, and USB-C. Mm-hmm. And we have the wireless charger, which is a plate.
But okay,
it's this one, and it's for iPhone 8 and X and Samsung S9. All of those who can charge in with a wireless. It has a sender, and this one fits in as well as the Apple Watch magnet cable holder.
Interesting.
So now you can also put your iPhone 10 next to your old iPhone or your Apple Watch, and you're always compatible to whatever technology you want to use.
How does the Apple Watch one work? Is it just a case that holds the little circular charger?
Exactly.
Cool.
It's a case. You see here, it's snapped in. It's that original magnetic holder. It's a small lid here in the back. You click that in and shift it in, and the Apple Watch will just hang on this. It doesn't matter what band you use because it's open on one side. So it can be the closed loop band or even an open one, and it just sticks with the magnetic on this.
Nice.
And then you said the wireless charger is compatible with because the iPhone and the Android sometimes use different charging. I don't know if it's a frequency, but it's the Q adapter. Yeah, on the iPhone, but it works with both. You said.
Yeah, it works with both. It's a little bit different in output capacity. So the charger switches between 5, 7.5, and 10 watts, depending on what your phone can receive.
Now, I see that you can't buy the wireless adapter yet on the website. It says under development. When is that going to be available to purchase?
It's available on December 1st. I actually expect it to be ready for shipment in 2 weeks. And then we have it here in the warehouse and in the warehouse in Atlanta, and then we can put it live on the website.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll have to order one of those when that comes available.
Yes.
Very, very, very nice. The power supply, there's nothing proprietary about the power supply itself, is there? It's just it has USB connections on it. So in theory, you can pull it out and plug a regular USB cable to it for your phone and just use it. I mean, it'll be crazy to do it, but theoretically, that's the thing, right? I mean, you have nothing proprietary about that thing.
I try to keep that product as simple as possible, and some people prefer a special charger, so you can order this box and the rail and use your own charger. You can also change the charger in 1 year if the standard is changing. Or the standard is changing. We know that. We have now fast charge technologies with USB-C. So these ports will change. And then there's 2 other standards, quick charge, fast charge VOOC, and some other technologies. And therefore, you always stay compatible with this Udoq, because you exchange the charger and you exchange the cable, and you not throw away a box or a holder or a docking station.
Interesting. Hey, guys, in the chat, if you have any questions, type it in or call in. 919-518-9773. Nick, do you have any other questions? I mean, guys, any other questions that you have when you're looking at the thing?
Yeah, who's this really designed for? Is this a good is this a good Christmas gift? Who's this really designed for?
We have a lot of clients here in Germany, customers that use that for their families, just to keep control of all these gadgets and devices that you have. Example given, your iPod, it would be sitting on the Udoq. It will be always full. You don't need to search it when you need it, or charge it before you run. It's already charged if it sits on an idle or Udoq. You can also you always know where your phones are. You know the status. It's very nice to control a little bit the online time of your teenagers. They hate that a little bit, but for me it's perfect, because when I walk to my bathroom, I see the Udoq and the devices lined up, and I see immediately if something's missing or something's not charged or somewhere in the car. So to keep control about several devices, it's a fantastic solution. We have a lot of B2B clients, especially hotels. We have this short one here that has a sticker on it. This is German now, means charge, ? And of course, we have that in an English version too, and in some other languages. And hotels put that in their rooms to offer the client the option to charge its phone. I mean, there will be the three major plugs like Lightning, a USB-C, and a micro USB. And when you get to your room, you just plug on your phone and you charge. You don't need to search your cables or crawl around in the hotel room to find a open wall plug. So that is a big clientele that we are targeting and that are already buying the product.
Yeah, this seems like this could be really great to be put in coffee shops and whatnot across the world. Having these kind of lined up on tables would probably be pretty neat.
Yeah, we have, funny that you say it, but we have right now Austrian largest petrol company. They just bought 100 Udoqs and they put them into the gas stations. They always have a small cafe connected to it, and they equip their new designed cafes in the gas stations with Udoqs. They have then a colored sticker of the petrol station here in the middle, so it's also branded for their identity, and they love it because now the people charge their phones and buy another coffee. This is where they make their money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Marcus, I know
What-
that's probably a hard question to answer, but what was your best invention? Do you have one that you?
I mean, probably for me, my baby is the Udoq, of course, because it's I use it every day. All my friends use them.
That's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah.
Which one of yours do you use? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes when we had not the full production out, I gave these first samples to all of my friends, and they have kids, they're singles, very different, and then I had a show and I asked them, can you borrow me your Udoq because I need more samples for the show? They said, no way, I can't give it away because all our stuff is on the Udoq, and if the cleaning woman comes to my house, the first thing she plugs it on to charge it. I mean, it becomes a ritual, and that's a very nice development because you're not having your phone all the time in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You're not online, you're not available 100% of your time. You come home maybe from your office and then you dock it there, one hand. That's the only dock that allows that, right? And then it's gone, and you talk to your wife, play with your kids, or do something different. Not be on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and etc.
This might be a kind of a weird question to answer, but where do you find people are putting this? Are people putting them in bedrooms or hallways, living rooms, kitchens? Where do you see these being deployed as a charging station?
I see most of them in a hall. When you enter the house, somewhere in a center space, on a console, on a sideboard, because that's where you normally also have your key rack. And I sometimes describe this as a key rack for our mobile or future keys. I mean, you know that we not only taking calls with our phones, we pay and we get access, and it's all our communication, and it's just act as a collector, as a key rack for all these devices, and that's why it's in the center position. It just makes sense, and it's visual there, and that's also nice because then I realized the more Udoqs I sell or resell in Europe here, the more inquiries we get because it's so prominent and it sits always in the center spot, and that's why people see it and ask, what is it? Where can I get it? And then they order in on our shop.
Now, what is the what sizes are available for the rails? I see behind you, you've got a couple different lengths.
Yeah.
Rails.
We basically start with that short one here. This is a 250 millimeters. I have not the conversion up in my head in inches, but the metric, it's 250 millimeters. It's 400 millimeters, which was this one I pointed out before. And then we have a longer one with 550, and the longest one is 700.
Wow.
Millimeters. So maybe you're laughing now, but in my hallway, I have a 1 meter because the 700 was not enough to fit all. I mean, if you put 2 iPads and 3 iPhones, you are already at 400. I mean, that goes quickly.
Yeah, guys. For those of you that don't understand that, that's a meter. That's a yard.
So 40, 40 inches, close to 40 inches, the size of a TV sitting on a TV stand.
Yeah,
but that's interesting. So that's quite a weight that it carries. Doesn't it topple over?
No. Now we have the center of gravity. If you look at this from the side, okay. It always, even if you have an iPad Pro here, it always is in the center of gravity. It has a small footprint, and I can't turn this monitor now, but I have one sitting here. I can't pull it out, but there's an iPad Pro next to this monitor, and I work on it. I have Skype conversations there, and you can even type on it. It's no problem.
Wow. That's
we also have a wall mount. Sorry, I forgot to say this. We have a wall mount, 2 brackets, also made from aluminum, and you mount it to the wall, and then you shift this Udoq. You fix it on the wall and clamp it with 2 screws, and then this sits rock solid on the wall. So you have a possibility if you have no sideboard. If you have a power outlet, of course, it's the nicest version. But then you have this on standing height, for example, as a display or as a collector on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question I do have: how do you deal with? So everything is standing. Usually the connection is at the bottom of the screens, but some of them are designed such they'll be on the side. How do you deal with these?
Yeah, I have a small piece here. Actually, don't have it here. It's called universal adapter. Let me check if I find one here. No. It's a small plug you put in. And do you mind if I grab one? I have it around the corner, so I'll be out of the.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. Yeah. And
real quick, the website, the URL, if you want to go and look at this, is udoq.com.
Yep.
So if you see this here, I click that in, and now it's in the lowest position. This can be shifted, of course, and it's a screw. And now I can turn this out. So it's a kind of rest. And whenever I plug something on, now I have no phone with the side, but imagine if I have next to this now one of these connectors, I can connect the phone and stand it and balance this in a horizontal way.
Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's part of what I'm asking. That's great. That's fantastic. So that's if you need some sort of
support,
space from the other side.
Yeah.
But what happens when you need? There's no choice. It's gonna stand. Let's say the iPad. You must have it in a horizontal port, not in portrait, but in landscape.
Okay.
But you need to plug from the side. How do you deal with that?
In this case, what you always can do is you can route your standard USB cable or your Apple cable. You can route that through the Udoq and plug it from the side and use two of these supports to balance it, to keep it like this. But that's the only situation where you say, I'm not sure if it makes sense or not.
Okay.
It's basically not a stand for watching movies. It's to charge and to dock and to also save space. And if it's horizontal, of course, then you won't, or you lose a lot of space. So you want
that's true.
them lined up in a charging position.
Okay.
Marcus, there's a question. What's the cost of the thing?
The cost, you can imagine, we have like a toolbox here with various length and a lot of different adapters. And I always say it ranges between $90 and $250, depending on what length and how many plugs, connectors, or adapters, or wireless charger, whatever you want. Also, if you want the box in the back for the charger, and if you want the charger inside too. So that also gives a little complexity for the average consumer to configure and to buy Udoq. And that's why we bring out on 1st of December also a bundle. And that bundle is a set which you see here in the back. It's we call it Udoq Power, and it will be the only one available in a gray color. So this is like the space gray of Apple. It has black adapters. The cables are still white, and it will come with the box in the back and the charger included and the cables all installed. And this will be $139 US. So that would be cheaper than if you put this all together in a configurator and on our website and buy the single pieces and build it together by yourself. So that bundle will be the answer to the retail, which is asking us, do you have something we can offer our customers, which they don't have to think a lot, and where they only have to choose, okay, I'm an Apple or I'm an Android guy. Because we have this Udoq Power 400, we have this in an Apple and an Android version, and it comes with the Lightning or the micro USB/USB-C connectors.
And where's that going to be available to purchase?
Also from December 1st. So that's our target. We show this at the CES in Las Vegas. And we offer it to be ready to order in 1st of December, so people can buy this for Christmas, because that's a fantastic Christmas gift. You just need to know, is this an Apple guy? And with this, you just plug it on and you dock whatever Apple you have.
Is that going to be available on Amazon to purchase, or is that going to be?
It will be also available on Amazon.
Okay.
Our shop is linked to Amazon, and it will run through the Amazon checkout process. It's the same product that will be priced the same way as on our shop.
Now, you mentioned retail. Are you going to be in any brick and mortar stores around the Christmas time, December time?
Not around Christmas, because that's too early. We're just starting in the US. I hope and I pray that I will meet a lot of buyers and interested people at the CES. We're doing promotion for that right now. We are at the Eureka booth, and which is, I think, easy to find at the CES. And there we answer all questions and offer, of course, the bundle and the system to retailers.
Cool.
All right. Very nice. Anything else you wanted to add?
I hope actually that people are aware that there are products like Udoq in the market that are not just plastic boxes that you buy for cheap price, like $30, $40, and use them for half a year and throw them away, which is actually a little bit our disaster right now. That's why we create so much trash. There are products out that have a little higher cost, but are much more sustainable, stay longer, are nicer, and have a higher quality. And is a little bit my goal, to give the people an option for just a better product and not buying 10 times a crappy thing.
Yep, that's a good point.
Real quick, talk about your configurator that's available on the website.
Yeah. As I told you before, for some people, it's difficult to buy a Udoq because they come up with the question, I don't know what Apple phone I have. I don't know what type of connector this is, and I don't know what. And that's for some people, or maybe most people, if you look at the target group of 7 billion mobile phone users, that's the fact, or that's a problem today. So I decided to build in a configurator where you simply type in what phone you have. So you can just go and say, okay, I have an Apple, I have an iPhone 7, and the Udoq will appear, and it will show you your iPhone 7 on the Udoq. And if you add another iPad, then it will also appear there, showing the right plug you need and showing the dimension or the size of Udoq you require. And this gives you the option. And I sometimes play with it because I think it's so funny to add more and more devices, and then you can also change the spacing between the devices by a small icon below the Udoq, like a small shifter. And yeah, it just tells you exactly what you need, and from there you go and check out.
And where's that available on your website?
It's on our website. It's at udoq.com. It's in the Udoq shop. You'll find there the cables, the rails, also the bundles, and you find the configurator. Or I'm not sure if it says configurator or if it says build your own Udoq. I mean, but that's easy to find. It's just under the shop icon, and
yeah, it
you
says
can also
Udoq configurator.
access from that shop icon. You can also access the shop in Asia and the shop in Europe if you guide it to the wrong shop. But of course, if you buy in the US, you would we only ship from our US shop to the US because it's a different warehouse.
Gotcha.
And Gal, to answer your concern about it tipping over, when it's on the table and you can see how the thing is.
Yeah.
I just put it on the table without anything on it, but with the weight of the thing, I have to push real hard on the top here to tip it at all. It
Okay.
is very well designed for the center of gravity. I mean, you can go almost a foot up and it's still not outside the frame. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, we have a silicone rail pulled in on the front side to protect the devices, and also on the bottom side to give good friction. Because here in the back, yeah, you see this rail, and that's soft, and it sits snug on the table. So even if you want to shift it, it's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, these are
By
not
the way, the
just
stickers you see there on the side, they're just for the shipping, for protection. You should peel them off.
okay. It's these are not just black strips; they are silicone strips to
Yeah, exactly.
to keep the thing in place. Very nice. So you're saying that this is not the way it comes. I mean, that box and everything, and all that kind of stuff is just put together in this one the way that you sent it. But normally, it doesn't come like that.
If you buy from the configurator, you get
can,
the pieces
yeah.
separate,
I understand.
because it would not make sense for us to assemble it for you because we don't know what order you prefer.
Right.
So we will simply have our warehouse. The people go and get the order and say, okay, they want this rail, this plug, this charger, this wireless charger, Apple Watch, and then they put this together and ship it to you. And for the gray color in the back, the power, Udoq 400 power, this will come completely assembled, and you don't need to install anything. It's just like a out of the box plug and play product.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we took enough of your time.
Thank you so much. No, it's my pleasure.
Whenever you come out with that, and you have units to review of the wireless stuff, just let Karen know, and hopefully we'll be able to do another.
Absolutely,
interview.
I will do so. Yes.
Thank
you so
you
much.
very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
Guys, have a
All
good
right.
day.
You too.
Thank you.
You can stay if you want to, and I mean, but no, we're actually the show's over. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
Marcus. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. Are there?
Well, real quick, the URL is udoq.com. udoq.com, and you can buy all the little accessories and the configurator is super cool. Literally any device is on there. You just type in, key in what it is, and it puts a little ghost image.
I'm
of what
serious. The thing is so well designed.
Well, he made a really good point saying you can buy this junk, these $30 or $40 chargers that are this, this kind of
this is
garbage
solid.
plastic that gets
This
made.
is solid. This will last for years, especially when you can just replace the connectors.
And it's made out of aluminum, which is is
And I'm
solid.
serious, Gal. I mean, you can push on it, and it doesn't tip over.
Even Gene said it looks like this would make a great gift for my son and his family. This is a good, people are always looking for we'll get into this over the next couple weeks. It was especially with Spence back. We're not far out from Christmas buying season now.
Right.
I mean, we're going to be halfway through October here next week. This is everybody's always looking for that, $100, $150 thing to get somebody. And normally you end up just piecing together some tchotchke crap. This, you do.
Listen to you.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
You end up buying a whole bunch of little $30, $25, $30 things from Amazon. You piece together some tchotchke and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But with this, this is like $150. You get the 250 with a couple adapters, and you're probably in that $100 range. And this is actually useful.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'll be picking mine up next week.
Yep, you will. All right. Anything else, guys?
No, sir.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Gal, thanks. And Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, the regular stuff. Tonight at 7, Nick hosts Against the Norm on Wilmington Big Talker 106.7. And anybody, anywhere in the world can listen on TuneIn. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.